What's going on, everyone? Patra with the NFL Draft Bible, back with another episode of the NFL Mock Draft Show, where every Tuesday we break down the latest Monday mock draft on si.com/NFL/draft. NFL Draft Bible, we're going to be going through a few players here, talk about where these guys went in this mock draft, how they fit in the NFL, and everything you need to know about these prospects. We're going to try to hit 5 today, but first we're coming off of a weekend of a Super Bowl that was a great game. I love the halftime show personally. I mean, I had chills the whole time watching Snoop Dogg and Eminem and all the guys that I grew up listening to. Man, like it was fun. It was a great entertaining game, entertaining halftime show, and it really came down to the wire with the game too. I mean, this was probably the first Super Bowl for me where I could sit down and enjoy the game and not feel like I really wanted one team to win or the other team to win. I like Stafford. I think we all like Stafford. I think we all like Mr. Joe Cool and the Bengals and what him and Jamar Chase and that those offensive weapons were able to do this year. So it was a lot of fun to watch. It was two likable teams that you could enjoy sitting down and seeing play, and just an entertaining game that really just came down to the wire. But with that said, we got the Super Bowl in the books. We got the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Bowl, NFLPA Bowl. We got all the All-Star games in the books. It is draft season. I mean, it's always draft season for us at the NFL Draft Bible. 365 every single day of the year. We got you covered for the NFL Draft. But now it's officially draft season. Everyone's going to be looking ahead, seeing what free agency looks like, seeing what the draft looks like. So we got a lot to discuss, a lot to break down, and just a lot of content over at si.com/NFL/draft. Make sure you head over to all your social media platforms. Follow NFL Draft Bible. Give me a follow to NFL_Zach. Again, all the social media handles there are the same for me. I like to keep it easy for you guys so you can find me and harass me even more than we already do. But hey, I love it. All right, so we're gonna get into it here. And before we do, one more thing. Go leave a rating, leave a comment, let us know how we're doing here. Also, let's talk about some of these picks because it's up on the website right now. You can see all 32 picks. I did a little bit differently. We threw some scouting blurbs in there, and I gave you a few reasons why I selected these specific players at these spots for these teams. So with that said, let's dive right into it. The first guy I want to talk about here, we're going to go to the number 6 pick with the Carolina Panthers. I feel like there's a lot of ways the Panthers could go about this pick here. There's been, you look back to Matt Rule's time in college. I talked about this on the last show. He heavily recruited Kenny Pickett to Temple. So there's some sort of tie there. Like, could Kenny Pickett go to Carolina at 6? Could a team go up and get Kenny Pickett ahead of the Panthers? Maybe. We'll see. But I don't have the Panthers taking a quarterback. And I've talked to a lot of Panthers fans, and God, do they hate it when I take a quarterback at 6 overall. They want to get this offensive line right. So you know what? I figured I'd do it right for you guys. Do right by you guys and draft an offensive lineman. Now, Evan Neal fell to me here with pick 6, which you can assume that Ikem Ekwonu, the North Carolina State tackle, and even guys like Charles Cross probably went ahead of Evan Neal. But you're just going to have to go check it out for yourself. See for yourself where these guys went. Again, si.com/NFL/draft. Head over to the mock draft section. You'll be able to find the latest Monday mock draft. But Evan Neal, big dude. He has some experience at guard. He's mainly a tackle though. Just a monster of a human being. I think he's like 6'8", 360, something like that. But good experience in the interior and on the boundary there. Great length, quick feet, really good lower body flexibility. You don't see big guys like this move like he does. He moves extremely well. His athleticism, his overall power and strength to create running lanes and protect the passer. Who's the quarterback going to be in Carolina? I'm not 100% sure. Do they run with Sam Darnold another year? They're bringing back Cam Newton. I don't know. I feel like it's just a whole mess over there. We're not going to worry about the quarterback situation right now, especially, I mean, we've all heard it. The quarterback class of 2022 isn't the greatest. I'm a big Kenny Pickett fan. I think we all know that by now. Malik Willis showed out at the Senior Bowl. Carson Strong's got plenty of fans. So there's a lot to like about the quarterback class, but it's significantly weaker than classes previously. So whatever the situation is going to be for quarterback, in Carolina. I want to get a guy that can protect him, and Evan Neal's that guy. There's the tackle class is very strong at the top. I already mentioned 3, but then you also got Trevor Penning, Sean Ryan, who the UCLA guy who could, another guy who could play interior if he needs to. Daniel Falale from Minnesota. So a lot of solid tackle prospects. Bernard Raymond, man, that guy did a great job at the Senior Bowl too. So fantastic to see that. So a lot of these, there's a lot of tackles that you could look at taking in the first round here. So Evan Neal at 6, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities him falling outside of the top 5 just because of the type of talent we got at the top. With even you look at the defensive side of the ball, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson, Kyle Hamilton, lots of great guys where, maybe a team that, is looking for a little bit different type of fit at tackle takes Ekwonu, takes Cross, so there's a chance that Evan Neal's going to be available for the Panthers here at 6. And I like the pick. I think it's a good spot. You got to get a guy who can help open up running lanes for Christian McCaffrey, Chuba Hubbard, help protect Sam Darnold, whoever the quarterback is. So I like the pick a lot here for Carolina. And, there's, like I said, you just got to get protection. You got to build from there because I just think that, having a guy like an Evan Neal just brings another realm of possibilities to your offensive line. It's something that, that they struggled with a lot. They drafted, what was his name? Greg Little there, out of Ole Miss. There was a lot of expectations for him, but he never lived up to it. I believe they ended up trading him, but you got to get someone that can protect and open up some running lanes here. But we're going to move on to the next pick here. And I'm going to go down to pick 11 for the Washington Commanders here. And we're going to stick with some offensive line talk here because I want to talk about Trevor Penning. I know we all probably, if you're on social media, you're following all the Senior Bowl stuff. You saw Trevor Penning, just a mean dude with an attitude. I mean, he was finishing every single play. Man, this Northern Iowa tackle, there's a lot to like with him. He's a guy that you could really build around for on your offensive line here. He's a young kid, powerful hands, mean mentality, really good ability to block in space. I like his athleticism, the ability to climb to the next level, get out in screens, and you don't want to get in front of that freight train, man. Like, he will run you over, and I think he proved that at the Senior Bowl, right? And I know when you're looking at pick 11 for Washington, everyone wants to take quarterback. I think for the last 3 mock drafts, I took quarterback for Washington. So I'm like, I got to switch this up. Let's get them another offensive lineman. Let's build a future stud offensive line in Washington. Whoever that quarterback is, whether it's Fitzpatrick or Heineke or someone they get in free agency or via trade. I mean, there's just so many things they can do. I mean, I think they were just in the news talking about how they could potentially trade this pick for Jimmy Garoppolo from San Francisco. So there's those options too. Maybe they're not picking at 11, and maybe they're going trade for their quarterback here. But I think if they're sitting at 11 here, yes, you got to look at going quarterback. You do. But I think another option here is to potentially go offensive line and really just help build that up because I think you got a really good receiver in Terry McLaurin. There's a good weapon. You got Antonio Gibson, who's a solid running back, a solid versatile player. So I do think there's some key pieces there, but I want to see them get some protection. And again, I earlier spoke about how the quarterback class isn't exactly the greatest. So maybe you look elsewhere. Maybe you look on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know. There's the team in Washington just isn't terrible. It's not terrible. It's not bad. They're gonna get close. They were close to the play. I mean, they play in the NFC East, right? That division struggles outside of Dallas this year, but they're gonna be close. I think they're gonna be competing for at least a wild card here, either next year or very recent years. I know that's probably not doesn't get a lot of people excited, but hey, when there's when you got an offensive lineman like Trevor Penning protecting your quarterback, opening up running lanes, you got a really, really good receiver in Terry McLaurin. I think there's something to work with there, and who knows? Maybe you get your quarterback of the future, but we had to go a little bit different direction there. So I wanted to talk about that one. The next one I want to talk about, I'm going to go to the Browns selection, and I got my ass kicked for picking a linebacker here because ever since Joe Schobert left, he was such a good linebacker for Cleveland. I liked him a lot, and they just I haven't seen them have that type of guy right in the middle of their second level. So I ended up taking I think it was Nakobe Dean a couple mock drafts back. But this time, I'm trying to please the fans this year. Try to please you guys a little bit here, right? Cleveland Browns, I had them taking a wide receiver here because I know they all, losing Odell Beckham. That was heartbreaking probably for you guys to watch him win a Super Bowl. I loved it. I'm an Odell Beckham fan, man. Always have been. He's so much fun to watch. But I got you taking a wide receiver here. A big guy. You would probably think Treylon Burks. But the first wide receiver taken off the board here is going to be Drake London, the USC outside receiver. Now, I know he's coming off an injury that ended his season. But, man, this guy is so talented. Just the ability to play inside, play outside, the concentration that he has when he's going through traffic and catching the ball. Really, really sudden footwork, and he's strong at the top of his route to create separation. Very secure pass catcher. Like I said, can play in the slot, can play on the boundary, and he's a willing blocker. He's a willing blocker, and that's not something you get out of these young wide receivers. But this is a big boy, plays extremely tough, plays physical, and has a lot of potential. So Browns fans, I know you wanted a receiver here, so I'm giving you a receiver. You're going to pair him with Jarvis Landry and Baker Mayfield if he's still there. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be, honestly. But with Baker, with Drake London, with Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, you got a pretty decent offensive line. There just can't be an excuse for Baker Mayfield anymore. If you got a guy like Drake London, and again Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, just so many great weapons. This would be the last go for Baker in Cleveland if he can't succeed with these type of weapons. Now I know you could say, like, how many chances is this guy going to get? I know Baker has his fans, he has his haters, all the above. Personally, I like him enough to keep him around for another year and work with what they got there. You can't fail when you got these type of weapons anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. You gotta have a good season when you get these type of weapons here. So, Baker, I'm giving you Drake. I'm giving you Drake London here. Okay, so enjoy it, and I could see that. I could see that duo working out really well. Now we're gonna move to another receiver because I want to go to 17, and I'm gonna go to the Chargers. Okay, they might be losing Mike Williams. They might be losing Jalen Guyton. There's 2 of your 3 receiving weapons that could be gone. You're going to have to take a receiver at 17 if they're gone. You're going to have Keenan Allen and then a bunch of other guys. You're going to have Austin Eckler. You're going to have, you just got to, in my opinion here, wide receivers the pick if you're losing Mike Williams and Jalen Guyton. So I have them selecting Treylon Burks, the receiver out of Arkansas. Now, he's my top-rated wide receiver, but I got to mix it up, right? Got to mix it up a little bit with these mock drafts. So Treylon Burks to the Los Angeles Chargers, kind of like Mike Williams. He's a big-bodied receiver, isn't afraid to go up and get it. But this guy, I love the way he can run routes. I love the way he plays the slot, works the middle of the field, understands how to sit in zones. He has quality hands, man. Like, this guy's got long arms, big body, and can really, he basically boxes you out at the catch point. And he's going to come down with that ball. He's physical at the catch point. The size-speed combination, sick. Like, really good. I mean, this dude's got a second gear. When he gets in the open field, that burst, if you don't have a paw on that dude, that dude's he's gonna put his foot in the ground, get some good quick chops, and get out of there. And you're not gonna be able to catch him. The decisive open field running, when you got the ball in your hands, that's what Treylon Burks has. It's decisive, it's great vision, it's good burst, good speed, and the size. Like, trying to run down a guy like that, I know we all look at a guy like DK Metcalf running down Budda Baker. No, he's not going to do that. I don't see him running that type of speed. But you could imagine that size and quality speed. This is a guy that's got that. And again, losing Mike Williams potentially and Jalen Guyton, you got to keep this receiving core together for Justin Herbert, because you got a stud in Justin Herbert. But you're going to have to get him weapons as well. You can't just lose all your weapons and say, "Oh, here you go, good luck." Make it happen with what you got. You got to build on what you currently have, build off of what you had, and then and keep that going. So Treylon Burks from Arkansas, I like this guy a lot. Again, he's a guy who's my top receiver, and he's a guy that I like a lot. So Chargers, Herbert, Treylon Burks, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. you're starting to get a really good offensive weapons there. And I know might want to think about going offensive line or something like that. But as I said earlier, there's a lot of offensive linemen where the Chargers could address that in the second round, maybe trade up in the second round a little bit and grab a guy like Falele or so there's a number of guys that you could think about getting there. But we're gonna move on to the next pick. We got a couple more we're gonna get to before we wrap up the show. But again, make sure you check out the mock draft section on si.com/NFL/draft where you could get all 32 picks here. And again, we got over 500 scouting reports going up too. So if you want to go check those out, you're going to get extensive backgrounds, all the pros, all the cons, a full summary. If all the other height and weight, updated information, date of birth, everything you need to know about these players. When your team selects Treylon Burks, you make sure you're over at si.com/NFL/draft and you're checking out that scouting report so you know everything you need to know about him when the season rolls around. And you can get excited as I would be if I was drafting Treylon Burks and I was a Chargers fan. But moving on, we're going to go down to the Cardinals at 23. Now, there's been so much going on with Kyler Murray and his questionable leadership and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So much offseason back and forth BS that all these headlines are just going to be coming up and we're going to be, we got to have something to talk about, right? But you got to make sure you're listening to the right stuff here. Now, I don't know the full details, so don't ask me, but there's a lot of question marks in Arizona. Like, what if Kyler gets traded? I don't see it. From what I've heard, talking with some of the Arizona guys, he's going to be the quarterback under center in Arizona starting next year. I don't have any reason to believe that that's changed, but there's a lot going on here. So I don't know, man. Do you take a guy like Matt Corral? I'm not taking Matt Corral. I'm just trying to tease you guys, mess with you guys a little bit here. But I went and I took one of my favorite players from the Senior Bowl, Mr. Tariq Woolen, UTSA cornerback. Now, Arizona, they need a CB1. They need a top cornerback on their team. Can Tariq be that guy? This is a guy who was a wide receiver, converted to corner. Now, I like that. Personally, I like that a lot just because you got a guy who understands the nuances of route running. Not every corner understands what a receiver's doing when his head's going one way, when his shoulders are flipped. There's so much that goes into route running that not everyone understands, right? And not every corner understands. Tariq Woolen is coming off of being a receiver, of understanding those nuances and being that receiving weapon. Now he's on the other side defending that guy, right? And this dude's got speed for days. Okay, this dude ran, according to Zebra Technologies, who was tracking everything, all those analytics and everything at the Senior Bowl, the Shrine Bowl. I believe they'll be at the Combine. They do a lot of stuff for the NFL, like all the stuff for the NFL for analytics. When it comes to next gen stats, I spoke with them last week. I believe that aired on Saturday. So much good information. You're gonna have to go back and check that bonus episode out. But they tracked him, and I think it was like 22 point something miles per hour, which I believe was the top speed of the entire week. Don't quote me on that, but go check out Zebra Technologies. They're going to tell you all that information. Extremely fast, man. Extremely fast. Now, what that type of speed tells me, and I go into it a little bit when I spoke with Adam Petrus of Zebra Technologies, is a 40 time tells me something, but that miles per hour on the field in pads tells me even more. Because if you're running let's say you're running a 4.45 and that's obviously solid, right? But when we're tracking you and it's 22 miles per hour. Now, if you don't have the greatest technique, which the technique it's not fully there with Tariq. We got to work with this technique a little bit. There's plenty to work with, right? But if I could work with your technique and coach you up and get you right, adding that speed, that makeup speed for when you gotta get in trail mode and you got to catch this guy. This is a guy that can do it, right? Like I said, Arizona needs a top corner. He's grown. Tariq Woolen has grown and progressed year after year after year. He's shown physicality. He's shown strength. He's got really good length. His ability to mirror. There's a lot to Tariq Woolen's game, and I know after the Senior Bowl, you're going to start hearing. After the Senior Bowl, you're going to start hearing his name more and more in first round mock drafts, and there's a reason for that. The kid is solid. Okay, again, a little raw still, but I can work with that type of player and get him to be the corner that I need just based off of his athleticism, his speed, his raw potential. Just a ton to like with him. Okay, we're gonna move on to our last pick here, and before we wrap up the show here, we're gonna get this last pick in here. But make sure you're heading over to NFL Draft Bible Podcast Network. Give them a follow on social media as well, and make sure you're leaving the show some ratings, some comments. I want to hear more about what you guys think about these selections that I'm talking about. I want you to head over to si.com/NFL/draft. Go to the mock draft section. I want you to check these mock drafts out and let me know what you think. I know you all got favorite teams, so let's hear what you think about your favorite team and who they selected. But for the last pick that we're going to talk about today, we're going to go down to 26, and we're going to go to the Tennessee Titans. We're going to have them take, I talked about him a little bit, very brief, just a second. Bernhard Raimann, the Central Michigan offensive tackle. This team needs another offensive lineman. Titans need an offensive lineman. And Bernhard Raimann looked fantastic, looked great at the Senior Bowl, especially during the game. Just his raw strength, that pure ability to just get his face across the defender's face, turn him outside for an inside running lane, have that running back run off his rear end. It really showed his ability to climb and get to that next level and seal off that second level for some solid runs. Bernhard Raimann looked fantastic at the Senior Bowl game. This is a guy who has great functional strength, tremendous foot quickness, really good length, and he's explosive. Great knee bend, great leg drive. There's just so much to like with Raimann. And another guy, just a great Senior Bowl, and you're going to start hearing his name more and more in the first round. This guy is worthy of that. This guy is very, very good. And a guy that these Tennessee Titans can start building that offensive lineman around, especially because you got Derrick Henry, you got Ryan Tannehill, maybe Aaron Rodgers, and you got to protect those guys. You got very good receiving weapons. Someone that can protect, hold up on the outside. Raymond's that guy. Someone who can open up running lanes in a power running game. This is a guy that can do it. I like Raimann a lot. I think there's a lot of potential with this kid. And again, just a big Senior Bowl riser. You're going to start hearing his name so much more in the first round. And he's going to go. I could see him going mid to late first round. I don't know if I see him slipping to the second round anymore. So getting Bernhard Raimann, the Central Michigan offensive tackle, at 26 is fantastic. Now, again, be sure you're going over to the mock draft section, checking out the mock draft here, because I have the scouting report links in here for you, and you can go check them out and make sure you read up on your team's guy they drafted in this 2022 NFL mock draft. You can see where they fit in. They fit on the offensive line, fit as a receiver, fit as a quarterback. We got all that in the scouting reports for you. We try to bring the most information that we can all in one spot for you guys. So make sure you're checking out these scouting reports, the mock drafts. We're going to be doing team mock drafts. I just dropped the Arizona Cardinals. That's the first one of the year. We're going to be dropping them every Tuesday through Saturday. So we're going to be wrapping up sometime mid-March. Obviously off-season changes so much. The landscape changes so much when free agency hits and the new year starts. So, but it's good to see where some of these guys could get drafted and who these teams could be looking at. So again, Arizona Cardinals is up. It's at the top of the website right now today, Tuesday. And we're going to be talking about the Broncos, I believe, on Wednesday. Okay. So there's a lot that we're going to be breaking down with these team mock drafts, but we're always going to have a Monday mock draft, always one round, sometimes two, sometimes three. Okay, so make sure you keep it locked and loaded on the NFL Draft Bible Podcast Network, on the NFL Draft Bible, on Sports Illustrated. The great thing about draft season is you're not going to be 100% right on everything. Okay, but it's a good practice to be checking these guys out. So make sure you're checking out each and every mock draft. Learn more about where these guys could go. Catch me every Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the Monday mock draft every single Tuesday for the rest of the off season here until the draft. So be sure you're keeping it locked and loaded on the NFL Draft Bible Podcast Network. We'll talk to you guys next time.